Hello, everyone, and welcome here to, of course, J Live. And I'm so excited to see you guys tonight. And it is so nice to see all of your names. And I'm so happy to be here. Tonight, I decided to try something different. And really, I'm excited to be here because A, I miss the shit out of you guys, excuse my French. And B, I really just kind of miss being on lives. I love doing it. I'm just not going to invite live guests on to be read. I'm going to do that on the soulmate chat. So if you're looking for soulmate chat stuff, please visit my Infinity family. But tonight it's Suicide Talk with Jay. I am going to be talking about the big S word. And I hate to say it like that, but that's what I'm going to be doing. Now, guys, I'm so excited that you're here, and I want to say hi to everyone. So as you're coming on, please tell me where you're from. And you know what? We are talking about suicide this evening. So I just want to let you know that it may be a very sensitive subject for some. And I'm going to be asking you guys if you have been affected by suicide, because I'm going to tell you, at least one person in your lifetime is going to be affected by this. And it's a big subject, So I thought I would talk about it because also of some things that have been happening in my life. And I want to talk to you guys about that as well. Now, guys, if you are not familiar with who I am, my name is Jay. I'm a psychic medium out of Canada. I'm super excited to be here to talk to absolutely everyone all over the world. I love doing large audience-based, shows. So you'll see me out there doing shows. You'll see me out there doing radio interviews, sometimes television interviews, different things like that. You'll see a lot of my stuff on YouTube. So just to let you know, I'm a little bit everywhere at Medium J Lane. So if you look me up, you will find me. If you Google me, you will find all kinds of pictures and all kinds of babies. Go check it out. But tonight, I wanted to get a little bit more serious, and I wanted to talk to you about my perspective of suicide and what's going on, like what the hell's going on in this world. So that's what I want to talk about this evening. So hello, everybody. So guys, as you're coming on, hi, Monique, all the way from French River. And I love French River. It's such a beautiful area. Hi, Yvette. I hope so too. But we're going to be talking about suicide, this evening. And thank you very much, Holly. She likes my talk. Hi, Rick, all the way from Wawa. You know what I mean? And yes, Pamela will be able to ask some questions also about this subject. Absolutely. Hi, Linda Cotty. Oh my God. Hi, Emily, all the way from England. And thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Hi, Patricia. Nice to see you. And you've got the boys there, so it's nice to see. And I've got, oh my God, Micheline Lacasse, all the way from Sault Ste. Marie. Oh my God, look at this. Leanna Lanigan? Did I say that right? All the way from Falkirk in Scotland. Oh my God. And Jane from Ottawa. Oh my God. And Lucy all the way from South Dakota. And Diane from freaking Marathon. Oh my God. From Chapleau, but lives in Niagara Falls. Oh my goodness. Hi from Iroquois. And oh my God, you know what? I'm so freaking pumped about going to Iroquois. I'm selling tickets. They are going. I'm so excited. Kirkland Lake, guys, if you don't know, I was doing one show there and the show sold out in less than 12 hours. So I thought, oh my God, like I've got 75 people on the waiting list. What the hell? So I decided to add another show. And it sold out in like 6 hours. I couldn't believe it. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. There is a handful of tickets left. Just to let you guys know, there's a handful of tickets left for Timmins, not many. And what had happened, I had a group that did a refund because they had to go out of town on a medical. So 10 tickets, a bunch of tickets were refunded for this medical emergency. So I totally understand. So that made 10 tickets available. So there's actually, I think, 11 tickets total now left because there'd only be one left if this didn't happen. So there is definitely tickets left for Wawa and Chapleau, so just let you know. And I'm excited Sault Ste. Marie is really starting to rock and roll. So thank you very much. But Oh my goodness, Valentina. So you're a suicide attempt survivor. Oh my goodness. And everybody, has been affected by this somehow. Hi, Mike from Sudbury. It's just so nice to see everybody. Oh my God. You're ironing clothes out in Alabama. Oh, you're a sweetheart. Oh my goodness. More people all the way. Oh, look at this. Ex killed herself last month. Now, guys, suicide is really difficult. It really is. First of all, we're going to get to the part of suicide that I wanted to talk about because, really, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this tonight really is because in the last 3 weeks, I've received 3 letters of people wanting to commit suicide, explaining in explicit detail how they were going to kill themselves. Now, I'm not medically trained. I'm not a psychologist. I never have claimed to be anything like that. Okay. I never have. But holy shit, that really screws with your head because, you figure if you don't give that person the right answer, if you don't pay attention to this and something happens, but the thing is, you can't blame yourself also. So the thing is, I went through 1,000,001 different things and I thought, you know what? I'm not keeping this to myself. We have to talk about this because sometimes I get suicide threats from people that live in the US and I'm Canadian. So what the hell do I do in a case like that? You know what I mean? So what I do is I refer people usually to a suicide hotline. There's one for Canada, there's one for the US. Internationally, I'd have to look it up, but if I had to, I would. But the thing is, people that talk about suicide or have a plan for it, and I'm not a psychologist or anything, but I know from working in this job and doing what I do every single day for years and years and years and years and years, that when they talk about it, they mean it. So the thing is, you can't overlook that and go, oh, well, if they're just pissed off. You really have to take that seriously. If you have somebody that's threatening to commit suicide or harm themselves, you can have them arrested under a Form 1, which is a mental health act in Canada anyways, as far as I know. And you can have the person assessed medically, okay? Because you know that this person is not acting a sound mind or maybe a harm to themselves, or it could be a harm to others. If there's any type of threat, that needs to be reported. The person needs help. It could be that they're having mental health issues. It could be that they're having, thyroid issues. And as a result of their thyroid issues, they're having psychotic episodes. There's so many different things that can cause a person to become suddenly depressed or wanting to harm themselves or others. And sometimes they're mental health illnesses. I'm no expert, but from what I've experienced, it is a Form 1, okay. And then the doctors will decide if that person's going to stay there for 24 hours, if they feel that, okay, they're not going to hurt themselves. Now there's some awareness. Maybe they can get that person some counseling or refer them appropriately to programs that can help them. And unfortunately, our mental health system is not the greatest. A lot of things have been outdated and we have more and more need for stuff because I know I live with certain things around me. I've had people in my family that have been ill, and it's difficult. Yes, and it's really sad when you're that low and you want to commit suicide. But the thing is, it's under the Mental Health Act, Tony, in Australia. Okay, and you know what? The thing is, it's becoming a very popular way of dying in my business, okay? And that scares the shit out of me. If I looked at the news just in the last couple of days, there was Marjorie Stoneman, okay? Her best friend was killed at Sandy Hook. And Jeremy Richmond, just in Connecticut, just committed suicide, I think a day or a few days ago, because a 6-year-old daughter was a victim at Sandy Hook. There was also another suicide from a school massacre not long ago, I think Parkland. And it's awful. I mean, these kids, I can't even imagine something like that happening to me when I was a kid. Kids must be terrified to go to school, traumatized, you know? And then there's enough violence with bullies and bullshit, you know? I mean, but it's no wonder our kids are depressed. There's kids committing suicide as young as 11 years old, guys. 11 years old. We have to wake up. So the thing is, it's really, really difficult when we lose someone to suicide. Suicide is a person, not that terrible person. People that commit suicide are not bad people. They're not. They're people that get relief, so they think, from living a shitty existence here on earth because they're not happy here. Maybe they can't be with the love of their life and they can't survive. They can't see their way out of their depression. Nobody's recognized it, or nobody seemed to be able to help. You know, and the thing is, when someone commits suicide, we feel the ones left behind. We're the ones that suffer because that person's left and there was nothing we can do to help that person. Or maybe there was like, we saw the signs, but we didn't know what to do. Or maybe we called the hospital like 10 times and then you get tired because you don't know what to do anymore. There's so many different reasons and different things. And then we start to self-blame. Oh, well, I couldn't help that person because I'm not good enough. Or maybe I didn't care enough. Or maybe if I did more, maybe if I did this or this or this, things would have been different. What if I would have done that instead? Then that all starts to flood on the person that's left behind. I know because I see them every day. Every day. I see people sitting across from me crying and so depressed, wanting to die because their kids committed suicide. They want to die. Some of them have actually thought of suicide because they think maybe they can be with their kids even earlier. At the end of the day, I have a hard time with that. And the thing is, I hope I don't get teary-eyed here. I've got Kleenex in case. But it really breaks my heart to see so many people left and pushed aside in the system. And the thing is, it also breaks my heart for people to blame themselves for something that they have no control over. So let me explain. Suicide is a broken agreement. That's exactly what it is. So before we come here on earth, we make agreements with other souls to go through certain life lessons. Good ones, yay, and shitty ones. Sucks, okay? Why do we go through that stuff? Because before we come here, before we're born, which we don't remember, thank freaking God, but before we're born, we make this life plan with other souls. These souls are here to teach us what we want and what we don't want. They're soulmates. Soulmates come in different forms, good and bad. And we learn lessons from these. How? Emotionally, physically, and mentally. Okay? So at the end of the day, that's how we learn. So now we're born. We're born into this consciousness. We have an ego now. Shit hurts. All right? So we measure our lives with our emotions. That's kind of, if we're happy, yay, life is wonderful. And if we're not happy, life sucks. So the thing is, sometimes we don't know what our purpose is. Sometimes we're alone. Our whole families die and we're left alone and we figure we're alone. Like, it's amazing what some people feel and how alone they feel. So now, if the soul decides that it's going to bail out. So for example, I'm born. And I come here and I'm supposed to get married with some guy, supposed to have 3 kids. I'm supposed to learn about sex, drugs, rock and roll, tough love, patience, that kind of stuff. That was my mission before I came here. And that's what I was going to learn emotionally, physically, mentally, what I wanted, what I didn't want through these life experiences with the soulmate that I chose to come here on earth with. So here comes my life. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, I see him hugging some sexy, gorgeous chick one day. And I go home and I end my life because I figure he's having an affair and there's no way I could ever live without this man, and I can't have children with anyone else. I love this person so much. So now I go home and I kill myself. So now this person, now my husband comes home and goes, oh my God, why did Jay die? Reads the note and goes, oh my God, that was my cousin I haven't seen in 30 years. I haven't seen this woman in 30 years. She's like a relative. Oh my God. So of course I had mental health issues. Let's just assume. Okay. But now we don't have the 3 kids we were supposed to have. We didn't go through those experiences because I bailed out. So the person left behind has to wonder if there would have been something differently they could have done. They lived through guilt. They also started equating suicide as love. So right away, if they start their lives over right away, they're afraid because they're afraid that this is going to happen to them again. Or they feel out of place. You know, they still love that person ended their life. They couldn't help them. So they feel like they're in limbo here because they can get their soul's agreement completed. And it's weird. You're supposed to have 3 kids. I was supposed to do this. I was supposed to do that, you know? And so the thing is, a person that commits suicide, my belief, is that they don't go through the light immediately, but it doesn't mean that they don't go through the light, because they do go through the light eventually. But most of them that break their agreements, and this is the way I explain it to people, is that if I didn't want to live on earth, sometimes I don't feel worthy of the light. I don't feel worthy of the light. Okay. So if I don't feel worthy of light, I'm not going to accept it. So if you've ever gone into an old building, have you ever gone into a place and go, holy freaking shit, feels like someone died in here. Ugh. And you feel so depressed and crappy, right? Have you ever felt like that? Yes, exactly. So all of a sudden, you just feel like, oh my freaking God, someone died in this building, in this room. You're probably right. That's residual energy. Sometimes those are grounded spirits. You don't have to be a medium to feel that. Trust me. Okay. So the thing is, there's definitely residual energy that stays by. I've gone into some buildings where people have been dead for like 200 years and they're still there. Now, for them, it doesn't feel all that long. If it was like human time, it'd be like, oh my God, being in hell. Because I mean, having to wait like 200 years to cross through the light. Now, a lot of them are easy to cross through. You just have to tell them you're dead. You're just stuck in like your old beliefs. Just see the light, just go to it. Once they go towards that light, you close that door, they're gone. But a lot of them go through quickly. Especially overdoses, accidental overdoses. I find they go through very, very quickly. I think it's because they didn't really intend to kill themselves, and surprise, they did, you know? And so I find those, or people that are like so mentally ill that they can't recognize reality from not reality. So they're very high potential of harming themselves, even by death, you know, and it's not their fault, you know, they're just not medically well. So the thing is, so I'm understanding, you know, yes. And Judy, and you know what, you make a good point too. And a lot of people do. It should be included in the learning and teaching systems as to these types of things. I really do believe that as well. You know what I mean? But I'm going to tell you, it's a sensitive subject, but you know, so now a soul that's gone, and now taken its life, someone who's now stuck in between realms. Let's go back to that for a second. Usually don't stay there very long, but what they usually do when they are in that realm is that they get to stand in the shoes of others that they have an effect on. So karmically speaking, they get to see how they've affected your life by leaving it. So if, let's say, I was supposed to have 3 children with my husband, I would probably have to be hanging around him a little while and checking out what's going on. Or I'd be peeking in quite often, you know, that kind of thing. But I'd probably be grounded in my self-pity. And that's a terrible thing for a soul to have to go through. But once they go through the light, that whole entire scenario, according to me, just kind of evaporates. It's gone. There's no ability to feel pain, hatred, regret. There's no possible ability to feel any of those things when you've gone through the light, because there's no more ego. So being grounded, there's still partly an ego. So you're stuck in between realms, and it's kind of tough because you're still feeling the emotions when you're not supposed to really be feeling those emotions, you know? So there's just so much, that could happen around those types of scenarios, but a lot of people feel responsible. And I think that's the biggest thing, or imagining what the person went through the last steps of their lives is really hard for a person to replay, not really knowing. And I'm going to tell you a lot of those, and I'm telling you, most of those, okay, do not remember dying. The act of dying, once you've crossed through, they know, okay, you know what? I'm somewhere else. There's no more pain. The ego is still there. Like, in other words, there could be some guilt, that kind of thing, if they're stuck in between realms. But once they go through, no more guilt, no more nothing. So when people come to see me and I said, this suicide is crossed right through the light, that means, like, in other words, it's gone past go. It's out of jail type thing. Okay. And they put themselves through that. They put themselves through. Nobody's putting them there but them. It's the inacceptance of the light. It's the inacceptance that you're good enough for anything, even to go to heaven. Some souls go through that. And it's unfortunate, but you know what? They don't feel sorry for themselves once they cross through. They understand that they were just having judgment against their own, or like learning their karmic lessons. So it's kind of weird. But now suicide seems to be getting very popular now. And so the thing is, we're having a lot of accidental overdoses, which a lot of people class as suicide, accidental suicide, so self-induced type thing. We're having a lot more like kids, a lot more children. So like going, okay, you know what? This is not checking out for me. I'm 15, but see you later. They don't want to be here. So we need to stop the bullying. There's so much we need to do. We're so connected, but we don't freaking realize it. We just think, oh, well, I got my busy life to live and that's it. Your purpose could have been to smile someone this morning, totally change their life path, because now they have purpose. They figure, wow, I made someone smile. They thought I'm worth somehow, so it's just amazing. But yeah, and it's true. Lost your best friend is such a shock. It doesn't feel real. And I absolutely can relate to that. It does not, because it's like you can't even possibly imagine somebody taking their own life. You can't. Like, you'd have to be like almost desperate. But the thing is, it's the state in which I think a person is in when they do something like that. So the guys, I'm just posting here Canada's Suicide Prevention Service hotline number. They have it said 833. I hope I did that right. Unless it was supposed to be 877. I'm going to look up that number. And then I had the National Suicide, not when I know I double check. But please, if any of you have these thoughts and you haven't talked about that to anybody, and you know what, it's you're not alone. There's a lot of people that think of ending their life, but they wouldn't go through with it because, this and that. And then some come really close. They go, okay, you know what? Or some have even tried. I know people that have tried 3 and 4 times and never succeeded. And then they think, oh my God, one day I will. But the thing is, at the end of the day, if you're at that point, you really need to go see somebody and talk to someone and to see why it is that you want to end your life. Now, when I get these letters, it's really disturbing to me, because I feel the same way. I feel like, the husband that couldn't help the wife type thing, or the wife that couldn't help the husband type thing. I can't save these people. All I could do is tell them how I feel about suicide, whether that's going to change their mind or not, about committing the act. Really, how is that going to change? I don't know. Am I supposed to reach out to them and start calling? If that's the case, I'd have to call 75 people a day. I have so many people wanting to talk to me and wanting to, have some comfort or some closure. But at the end of the day, Accidental overdoses, Luann, that's a really good question. At the end of the day, it's a tough subject, you know. The thing is, accidental overdoses, that's why I felt, Luann, that those energies go through the other side very quickly compared to a very intentional, premeditated suicide, or even like a murder suicide, or even like a murder. Some people say, well, what happens to a person that's murdered, that their life is taken away? That soul goes right through to the other side. It's the person who has committed the murder that's just traded off their soul. So they get stuck in between realms until they have stepped in the shoes of those that were affected by this death. They're called karmic lessons. And so until they can accept that, then they can accept the light go through. But I really do believe if those karmic lessons aren't learned here, they're learned in between realms, especially if you're responsible for taking the soul of another. And some people believe that's contracts written between each other. Nah, I think they're broken agreements, you know, I don't know, or kept agreements, maybe, in that, you know, maybe the soul intended to do that somehow. But the thing is, I think the soul of the person that commits a murder actually gets, unless, of course, it was like something to defend yourself. But if it was intentional to take someone's life, I do believe that strongly. But of course, it was just my upbringing and what my mother taught me most of my life. You know what I mean? But I don't think anyone can say they haven't thought or had the thought process of why people do it or how they can take that route. Therefore, suicide and prevention affects everyone. Yeah, if people need to learn more about compassion, realize everybody has a story, and that's absolutely true. Everybody does have a story, and we need to listen to people when they talk. You know, just taking 5 minutes out of your day and showing an act of kindness and compassion can have a detrimental effect on someone's well-being. You know, and even suggesting someone go to the hospital. Listen, you know, I've had to tell someone, listen, I love you, and you need to go see someone because I can't help you. But if you want to help yourself, I'll stand by you. Because, I mean, the thing is, how could you not? I mean, you know, but yeah, it's true. Sometimes you have to distract. Yeah. And it's true, Margot, you have to really work at it. It's a tough thing. And a lot of people have, and it's not just like an easy way out. It's not. People have a tough time deciding. Some people ask me, it's like they're asking permission, and I can't tell them what to do. But the thing is, I just hope the hell that they don't do it. You know what I mean? Call the numbers Jay posted. Yeah, absolutely. So there's the National Suicide Prevention hotline, actually, Margot. And the thing is, you know, especially if you're thinking of suicide, talk to somebody. They are confidential services. They won't go tell your employer. They're not going to tell anybody. If you have, some people have, especially in Canada, I'm aware of this, but they have employee assistance program. And the employee assistance program is designed for employees to get help, you know, at a reasonable rate or through a discounted rate through the employer. And you can go for like services, I think sometimes up to 10 or 12 weeks in some cases. And, you know, these services can help you, especially if you're feeling this way. So just to let you know that. The thing is, it's, you know, it doesn't matter what time it is. You're never bothering anyone. I have had some people also say, well, I didn't want to bother anybody, and I feel like I'm a bother. Definitely nobody is a bother, you know. I think I haven't done it because I'm afraid of dying. And you know what? And I understand that too. Some people are afraid because they're afraid of what's on the other side. I've had some people actually not commit suicide because of my blogs. And the thing is, they said, geez, I never looked at it that way. And I don't want to not be able to contact my son or my daughter, because people that are grounded don't go through to the other side right away. And some of them stay for a little bit. There's no measurement of time, but how that affects that soul. But they do have to review or karmically learn their lesson. So for example, if I'm stuck in between realms, I'm not going to see my mom and dad until I go through the light. And if I decide to stay grounded for 6 months or 8 months, I'm not going to be reunited with that loved one like I thought I would have been. So when I talk about that to people, because if you go read my blog, mediumjlane.com, definitely you'll be able to see that. And it's interesting that I have a lot of different opinions on different things. I've done videos about murdered souls and what happens to the soul of a person, but they do always go through. So just to let you know, can someone look up the Canada Suicide Prevention Service and see if it's 877 or 833? I think I made a mistake in there, Oh yeah. And it's true, in the nursing field, it's on the rise. In my business, it's on the rise, And the thing is, you'll see families where some people say, geez, it's hereditary in that family. Suicide's not hereditary. But the thing is, you will see patterns of it. I remember one family, I think I had the father who had committed suicide, 3 of the sons and 1 of the daughters out of 8 kids. So 4 of the kids had committed suicide and the father, so 5 out of that entire family. And sometimes that'll happen. You know what I mean? They are finally happy on the other side, Tammy. So when they do go through the light, I'm telling you, they're extremely happy. So just to let you know. Now, when someone starts talking about death and wants to know about death, and if you're not sure, refer them online. That if someone starts talking about wanting to die, or they hate their lives, they wish they were dead, and they talk about it, or they start posting like really morbid pictures. I know that someone who was suicidal, when I looked to see if it was, a valid account, and the thing is, it definitely was, but the photos posted on that person's profile were extremely morbid, and you could tell very, very depressed. My heart went out, to that person. So it is 833. Thank you. So I did write it right. So I am going to put down this Canada Suicide Prevention Service at 833. And then it's 456-4566. Or text, okay? Or text 45645. Okay, so just to let you know, and the National Suicide Prevention Hotline in the US is 1-800-273-8255. So if you're feeling suicidal, definitely speak to somebody about it. Now, a lot of people say, why do people come to see you when they want to commit suicide? Because I got a lot of people that come to see me and say, I'm ready to end my life and I want to go without having a guilty conscience. So it's part of what I do in my job. And I tell them about, suicide. I educate them the same way I'm doing today. Here we go. I'm going to put this up here while we're looking. And just to let you know that when people, like I mentioned, when they start talking about these things or mentioning it, it's okay to say, hey, listen, are you having a difficult time? Are you okay? Or do you need to talk to someone? It's okay to say that. Don't think that if you're going to say something, you're going to insult the person. When a person has a bobo, and if you keep the Band-Aid on it, it'll fester. It'll get infected. But if you take that Band-Aid off, that bobo is going to get some air. It's going to be getting some water when you wash it. It won't all stay damp. It'll dry out. And that'll start to heal when it comes to surface. So the thing is, you really have to, help these people and say, it's okay. It's okay. Definitely. It's okay if you're thinking about this. I understand, but you really need to get some help because I don't know how to help you. And if you don't know how to help the person, it's okay. But at least give them the hotline number if you can find it. Talk to family members. If you have been told by somebody they want to commit suicide, don't keep it a secret. You want to help that person. I always think that awareness is key. Awareness is what helps us deal with the problem. It brings things to surface. And the thing is, they feel like they can't talk about it because like maybe they're being disrespectful to that person's like very private thoughts. But if a person is thinking of killing themselves, I understand that they want the relief from pain, but like really in the moment, maybe they're just feeling so desolate that they don't think there's any way out. But with maybe treatment, maybe like I say, it could be a chemical imbalance. It could be a medical problem that's rendered them to feel this way. It could be so many different things. And with treatment, it's amazing what can happen. So the thing is, talk about it. If you're not too sure, like, and tell the person, I just feel like an idiot talking about this because I don't know what to say because this never happened to me and I don't know how to deal with that, but I'm really concerned about you and I'm worried about you and I want to do something for you. So what can I do to help you? Can I go to a meeting with you? Can I talk to your parents about it? Can I talk to your best friend about it? And if they say no, 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 don't keep it to yourself. If you have to call the police, see what the police have to say about it. If they feel and they're assessing, because they're not emotionally involved, they're assessing that something needs to be done or that person needs to be seen, then it's out of your hands. And so the thing is, definitely, that needs to be looked at. Is the passing over different than with a natural death? It is a little bit different. Most people with a natural death or a person, even sometimes a person that was hit from let's say by a truck from behind, didn't realize they died. Sometimes they'll stay grounded a bit too. They don't realize they're dead. You have to tell them sometimes, excuse me, you're not in a dream. You've actually passed away. It's like, what? So a lot of them will replay their memories. And they play this over and over and over because they don't understand it. It's like a recurring dream for them, So the thing is a little bit different, but they do eventually go into the light or someone comes to get them. But if it is a suicide, an intentional suicide, I should say, one that was very well thought out, and one that's like, I don't feel like being here anymore, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to write a note, and I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. It's not that these people are bad. It's just that they just can't do it anymore. They just don't feel like being here anymore. But the thing is, it could be because of whatever reason, they need to be assessed first. They really do need to be assessed. So people that cross through, to get back to your question, natural death usually cross through, or people that know that they're dying usually accept the light right away. I know that I had a cousin of mine that just dropped dead, and it took him a couple of days to figure out that he was gone, but he figured it out pretty fast. So it sometimes does take a soul a few days, or sometimes it could be a few weeks, before they realize that they're gone. Some of them have difficulties orienting to the other side. So people that die of dementia or really difficult memory problems sometimes have a difficult orientation. So it takes a little longer sometimes for these also to come through a little bit more soundly. Sometimes they'll show stuff backwards, or, they'll just show different things like that, I know, and that's a really good question, Lynn. Assisted suicide, I always feel the same. They're prepared for their death. The thing is, most people that apply for assisted suicide are going to pass. They're just doing it on their own terms. But the thing is, I do believe that there's that moment in between. I think that at this point, I think they would cross very quickly. I've had assisted suicides and channeled a few that have come through very quickly. In fact, weeks after passing. So very interesting that you asked, but it is a very, very good question, Ashley, yeah, but you know what? I think Yvette, your Ashley had crossed through. I think basically her situation was a little bit different, and I get the feeling that she wasn't really intending on passing that night or being responsible for it. And the thing is, I just think because you were looking for justice and different things like that, I think that the spirit tends to stick around a bit, but She's an amazing soul. And in fact, I've been to the location where she's passed and I felt her, but in a very positive way, not in a negative way whatsoever. So just to let you know that. Um, but, I totally understand. She's around you even now. Just to let you know, Yvette, she's around you quite a bit. But she's just in your face spirit. Like she's always been very strong. So, but that's not a bad thing. Some spirits, especially younger ones, are very, very active and very awake. So very interesting. Let me see. Do you believe this is interesting? So, do you believe a spirit guide can guide someone to look up their obituary? My father passed 2/27/19 and his wife didn't contact me. On 3/11, out of nowhere, I started talking to him on 2 occasions. The second time, something made me Google his name. I found his service was 3/13/19. So very interesting. All of these dates, 2/2/27 and 3/13 are big signs for me. So thank you for the message that I've just received. But Pamela, I find that really kind of interesting because I'm going to tell you why. I had a situation where I was talking to my sister and I said, "Oh my God." And she goes, "What?" I said, "I have to look up somebody's obituary." She goes, "Why?" I said, "I don't know why." The person had died 2 days before and they were from Winnipeg. And nobody had called me. Nobody to this day still has called me to tell me that anybody has passed. But I found the obituary. And then I told this person, "Guess what?" And then she goes, "No kidding. You're not serious." She thought I was joking. I said, "No, no, no." So I had to actually print it out and bring it to her because she doesn't have a computer and show her that. But I could totally understand that. So I'm going to have to say, yeah, I think, So the things could be just a message you're getting, but it's kind of interesting. Oh my goodness. So let me see. My grandfather took her life my granddaughter, took her life this past summer. No help in the north yet. Ford is spending thousands. Aw, lives don't matter. And you know what? I understand totally how you feel. Sometimes I get a little political too, and I understand that. But you keep on standing up for that. We need to change things in the north. And actually, I'm going to be working on, I'm hoping to work on some projects. I want to be teaching a little while later on a couple of different things, but I really want to get involved. I'd love to get involved in suicide prevention and talk a little bit about it, especially different areas. But I don't know if they'd accept someone like me in schools and different things like that. But yeah, so no, and I understand, Pamela. I totally understand. I've had definitely that kind of experience. But just to recap, guys, it really struck me. I was almost in tears when I read about these two suicides, especially Sandy Hook. I mean, there were so many lives lost, that day. And to see that these people are taking their lives because they can't live with the pain of losing or having these lives cut short, the trauma and, what they went through, such traumatic experiences, such tragic experiences, that they can't seem to live their lives without that constant pain and thinking that they're going to, join their friends or their loved ones quicker, when in fact, they're not really helping the situation. But I would think that eventually their souls would go through. They're probably through now, who knows? But at the end of the day, and I'm not channeling them, so I don't know. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it's just a really sad reality when you start seeing all these kids committing suicide and people popping pills and people having overdoses of fentanyl and oxys and perks. And guys, there's so much addiction out there. If you're taking pills, just know that they make you angry. They change who you are and you're not yourself anymore. And a lot of people want to commit suicide because they can't control their addiction anymore. You can control it. You can get help. And there's a lot of people out there willing to help out, There's Narcanon meetings. There's all kinds of different things to help those supporting people that have drug addiction that want to get over it. But there's so many different things that contribute to wanting to commit suicide. Drug addiction is one of them, for pain, or people that suffer a lot of pain. And some people, they say, well, I've been for tests all my life. There's nothing they can do for me. There's a lot of new things out there, guys, that help with pain. And there's all kinds of different treatments. People are talking about like natural ways of doing it, medical ways, all kinds of different ways. So the thing is, you got to start looking at those types of things, So yes, Judy, and Judy feels that police sometimes brush it off. And the thing is, sometimes they are like false alarm calls, or someone's known as a problematic person. And I can relate to that because my sister was a problematic person. Okay. And the thing is, when they start getting calls and calls and calls by the same person, then you start going, oh my freaking God, okay, it's just they're having their issues again. So they'll listen to the call, but it's like the boy who cried wolf. Sometimes we feel like they don't take it as seriously as they do. But I'm going to tell you, we have pretty good police service here. I mean, I was totally impressed with some of the services that they offered and the care that I received, when going through something of that nature, about 6 or 8 months ago. So really kind of nice that we have some. I mean, I think they understand that the services here lack somehow. So they were very compassionate, Let me see here. And they're all okay once they cross through. I just want you to know that they don't suffer physically. So just to let you know that. Yeah, I felt bad for Robin Williams when he died. People were saying he's no money game. I know, blah, 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 blah. Robin Williams had Lewy body dementia, which has got to be one of the worst dementias that there is, because you have extremely huge delusional type of visions. They're auditory, they're visual, they're extremely scary. You can't decipher between reality and not reality. And then when you come to your senses, because you tend to go through bouts of it, when you come to your senses, you do realize that you're hallucinating, and you do realize, so it makes it a little bit different than schizophrenia. And the reason I say that is because I have someone in my family that died of Lewy body dementia, but an aunt of mine. But I'm going to tell you, it's a very difficult dementia because Robin Williams was suffering inside. Part of him knew that was going through this. Part of him knew that it didn't know it was going through it. His family must have suffered tremendously because it's a very quick and very quickly declining type of dementia, which has severe delusional, wide spectrum type of schizophrenic type of, symptoms to it. So it's a tough being. It really is. So it was terrible that he committed suicide, but it was his relief, his way of getting out, as some people say it. But I kind of felt bad for him too. Yes, Amanda, you're very lucky. Mental health first aid, great training to get. And can someone like me get that, Amanda? Because, it's very difficult sometimes for me to deal with, and I'm not an expert in this field, guys. So if you're looking for more resources, please look them up. Please talk to your healthcare professionals, your doctors, about how you feel, or even look up. I'm sure there's documentaries on this type of stuff. But the thing is, it would be nice to have some kind of training, because it's just, it's getting to a point where it's rampant, So people are more and more thinking in these ways nowadays. Oh, good. Okay, so Amanda, I'm going to have to get a hold of you to find out how I can do a little bit of training around that, because I think it would be important for myself. Yes. And Carolyn, you're right. It is terrible, and you have to take antipsychotic medication. And the thing is, these treatments take a very, very long time to be implemented and to take effect in your body. And so very, very difficult to go through this. Some people find out that they have cancer. So I've had a lot of people, come through and tell me I had cancer, but I ended my life a little earlier than I should have. I took a walk in the bush type thing, and I hate to say it like that, but that's the way I hear it usually. And, it's just really difficult to, I don't know, it's just really difficult to kind of hear all of this kind of stuff, but it is great training. I wish it was free. I wish, maybe I could do a train the trainer type thing and just offer it, but it's just really, really nice to, and for myself, like recently, I had these 3 suicide letters, very specific about how they were going to end their lives, everything. And, I called the police department. They said, well, just call the police department of the town they come from. I don't know where they come from. They just sent me an email. Like, how the hell? So I've had to do a lot of research with phone numbers. I had to call people, and like to try to get some help. And sometimes you just can't because you don't know who the heck's writing to you, or they do up a bogus email and there's nothing there unless they can run an IP address. But the thing is, they only do that usually when you're threatened. But, it's difficult. But yeah, it's very, very, very sad. So if you do know someone that is going through that, pass them along the telephone numbers, that I've listed here. And again, I'll post them. Please, talk to people about it. Don't keep it a secret in your family. Someone has confided in you. Talk to somebody that's respected in the family, or somebody that would know what to do, or somebody that's got it together. Just talk to them, and never feel that you're not worthy enough, of someone's attention. If you're feeling suicidal, it's okay to talk and to reach out to people. If they don't do anything about it, reach out to somebody else, or talk to a doctor, talk to somebody who's a professional in the field that can help you through what it is that you need to go through. Sometimes, like I say, it could be a medical condition that can be easily resolved, and then you feel great again. And the thing is, it's just, we need to try to fix it. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Every day you need to tell yourself, I matter, and there's a reason that we're here. And it could be that, from your pain, that you could help other people prevent suicide. There's suicide prevention hotlines that you could work for if you've had these types of feelings, and if you feel that you're a great candidate to help other people because you've been through it. You'd be surprised how wonderfully welcome you'd be, but definitely it's so difficult. Oh, so my first time I changed my mind. My husband told me I had a daughter living. And that's the thing, eh? It's to know that there's other people looking up to you. There's other people that are going to be affected by your death. And it's hard to imagine. If I thought I was going to have a detrimental effect on my son, I don't think I'd even think about ending my life, but it's just a really terrible thing, to go through. You're welcome, Patricia. Oh my God. We are all important, Sandy. You're so right. We are all so important. But guys, even if you share this video, on your page, please share it. Someone might listen to this and decide to keep on listening to it. And maybe it'll urge them to get some help. Maybe it'll urge them to, talk to somebody about how they feel. People need help. If you know that, somebody's feeling this way, or you're suspecting it, don't be afraid to ask them. Even if they say, oh my God, no, they might be lying to you and they're feeling that way, and they're going, okay, you know what? I need to get some help. People are noticing what's going on, about that. Yeah, some people have gone too far, Margot. I agree with that. But the thing is, I never think it's too late. I remember one person tried to commit suicide about 9 or 10 years ago, twice. And the second time, we didn't think she was going to pull through. And now she is one of the biggest speakers that I know. And she helps a lot of the teenage kids with suicide. She talks to them about suicide prevention, different things like that. She's gone on to change her career and dedicating her life to suicide prevention awareness. The thing is, we've lost contact over the last little while because she's extremely busy with what it is that she does. So I'm going to have to get a hold of her again, but I don't even know. She's like a big boss now. But the thing is, at the end of the day, we need to reach out, get the phone numbers, post them on your Facebook, post them, share them with people. Just, hey, listen, you know what, if you know anyone who needs this post, or just put something encouraging on your wall if you know someone's going through a hard time. There's nothing wrong with that, but hopefully this will help somebody just a little bit. Now, guys, I just want to let you know that I've been using BeLive platform here to do this live event. So if you're looking for this type of platform, I absolutely love it because we could put crawlers such as this. We could talk about different subjects, have different guests on as I have before, but definitely check it out. It's absolutely amazing. And you get 30 days free trial if you sign up under my name. So I don't have any vested, I guess I don't get anything from doing that. I just absolutely love the platform and I love using it. Guys, I am coming to Timmins. Timmins is almost sold out, just I think 10 or 11 tickets left. So just to let you know, tickets there at mediumjlane.com. Wawa Shaflo is still selling tickets. Sault Ste. Marie is amazing, selling tickets there. Kirkland Lake is sold out. Lorraine's Restaurant is sold out. There's another show coming up, I think in Warren. And I'm doing a show in Iroquois Falls. Tickets are selling very beautifully. I'm going to be in Timmins to do readings mid-May. I have not posted my schedule yet, but I will be. And I'm super excited because next month I'm going to be announcing some great news. I want you guys to share this, please, as much as you possibly can. I absolutely love every single one of you. Thank you so much, for listening to this tonight, and for, I can't be calling you, you're so cute, but for listening to this tonight. Just to let you know, I am doing Soulmate Chat with Jay, and if you are interested in joining, very private, away from social media, please join myinfinityfamily.com. It's absolutely free. Once you get there and you sign up, go to your email and check your password, log in, and go over to the Soulmate Chat tab and join. Register for the chat. It is $5 to join to help you pay for the platform, but it's an amazing hour of connections. Now, not everybody will get a reading, but I'm telling you, it's an amazing experience to watch other people get connection. But I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, everybody, for being here. Big hugs, bear hugs from my heart to yours. I love you. Anyways, we'll talk to you really soon, and I hope to be on next Tuesday again. If there's a subject you want to hear about, please write to me or just even mention it here. Very welcome, everyone. Big hugs. Bye-bye.